What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Today I'm here to break down the NBA DraftKings slate on Wednesday, September 2nd. Got a nice two-game slate today. We got Game 7, Houston OKC. Should be a great game. Looking really forward to watching that one. And then we also have Game 2 of Milwaukee and Miami, where Miami beat Milwaukee Game 1. We'll see if they can do it again. We'll get into why that happened and why that's actually a tough matchup for Milwaukee and how we can exploit that in DFS today. If you guys are new to the channel, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, turn on notification bell, leave a comment. All those things will really help me grow. Had a lot of growth throughout NBA and NASCAR season, and NFL is like a week and a half away. Thursday Night Football is 8 days away. It's crazy. I'm so excited for that. But yeah, I'll be making a ton of content for NFL. I mean, videos every single day for each week for NFL. I'm going to be having so much stuff coming out for NFL along on YouTube and on Patreon. And same thing for college football. I probably won't do it for week 1. ACC, but week 2 I will be starting to make YouTube content for that as well, so be sure to stick around for all of that. If you want to get more of my content, you can subscribe to my Patreon. For only $10 a month, you're going to get a cheat sheet with all the stats you need to know, as well as projections for DraftKings, FanDuel, Yahoo, SuperDraft, and Fantasy Draft, along with a daily article, salary tier rankings, injury notes, and a cash core every single day. So be sure to check out that. I'll leave the link in the description below. If you want to follow me on social media, my Twitter is @DFSNateLane, Instagram's @NateLane_. I just like talking about sports all the time over there. You can always ask me about DFS, pretty much anything. Talk about basketball, football, fantasy football, baseball, NASCAR, pretty much everything over there. So be sure to check that out. I think that's really all I got to say on that. So let's get into the players. All right, so the first team we're going to go over is Houston Rockets. They play Game 7 against OKC. Robert Covington's been playing a ton of minutes. I have him for 38 today. At the beginning of the series, he wasn't really getting a ton of run, but recently he's been starting to see more runs. So 2 games ago, he had a really big game. I mean, he's always a guy that I seem to go after when he's not popular, and when he is popular, I just kind of stay away because he's just a score-independent player. Doesn't really do a ton of peripherals. So, but he is 5,900. It's cheaper than he's been all postseason, which is probably where he should be. Like the beginning of the bubble, he was like in 7Ks, and I was like, "There's no way I'm playing Robert Covington for $7,800." So, at 5,900, he's definitely playable. I mean, I wouldn't call him like a lock play, but he's someone who's solid. He's going to play a ton of minutes. Probably. I don't know. I mean, I always feel like, I don't know, like every day I see Robert Covington's going to get a ton of ownership, and I'm just like, why? I never understand that one. So if he's going to get a ton of ownership again, I'll probably just stay away. But if he isn't, then yeah, I think he's a solid play. Eric Gordon, 5,800. Price is coming down now that Russell Westbrook's back, but he still played. I saw him for 34 minutes today. I mean, he's going to be out there a ton. He just seems a little too expensive. He's only a .766 point per minute guy, like the third or fourth highest usage player on the floor now. Westbrook off, or Westbrook on, my bad. So, I mean, Eric Gordon's fine. He's just a little too expensive for me to really want to get there today. Jeff Green, 4,900. Now that Westbrook's back, just isn't really playing a minute, so I probably really don't want to go after him. James Harden's price slowly coming down to 11,200, but I mean, he's still fine. I mean, he's a top tier player in the slate today. I mean, him and Giannis just are just the top guys. I'm sure one of them goes off. Neither of them did the other day. I mean, Harden, the thing with Harden is Westbrook's back, so his usage isn't as high as it was. And I mean, when Harden, it's already like a tough matchup. Like, that's the thing that like no one I think's really said about this week, or about this matchup against OKC. Just because Westbrook was not, everyone's like, Harden's great. Well, OKC's actually like a tough matchup. Like, if we go break down the matchup here, it is a negative matchup for combo guards, but a positive for point guards, but that's not really even the main part. It's a big pace down spot for Houston. Like, OKC is running at a 102.3 point or pace game, and Houston on average is a 107.6. So it's a 5 possession pace down game for them. So Houston just like their pace, it's just a big pace down spot. And then when the line reflects it too, like right now, today's total line right now is 218, and their average is 233.6. So this is actually like a really tough matchup for Houston. I mean, OKC is a good defensive team, so that's why Harden not necessarily hasn't been like playing the best. It's just the first 5 games of the series, we had no Russ, so it was like, or was it first 4? We were, it's just like when no Russ is there, it makes it harder for Houston. When no Russ is there, Harden just has such a high usage percentage that we'd want to get there. But now with the lower usage, he's 11,200. I don't know if I really want to get there as much as I thought. I mean, the ceiling's still, ridiculously high just because it's James Harden, but I think there are definitely ways to get away from him, and I think I'd rather go to Giannis today, honestly. So, Harden's, I mean, he's fine. He's not a bad play by any means, but he's not someone I feel like you need to get today. Daniel House, $5,000. He's still been playing 30 minutes with Russ back. So I mean, he's fine. Just gonna be a lower usage guy, already a low point per minute guy, but with Russ on the floor, he's a lower usage player. So he's okay, but $5,000 seems a little bit too expensive to pay for Daniel House. PJ Tucker, we never play PJ Tucker. He's $4,500, a 0.6 point per minute guy, super 8% usage guy. He's just not someone you ever really want to play in DFS, in my opinion. Even on these small slates, I try to find ways around him. I think there's guys priced in the same range, especially one we'll get to in the next game or the next team we talk about. But that is one that I'd rather get to. And then Russell Westbrook is 8,900, and he's playing on limited minutes, so I don't want to get there. I mean, that's it. He's not going to get 30 minutes today, so I don't want to get to Russell Westbrook for $8,900 if he's going to get limited minutes. Up next team we're going to talk about is Miami Heat. Bam Adebayo. All right, so I want to talk about why Miami's beating Milwaukee. The reason Miami was a tough match for Milwaukee. They were the only team in the Eastern, or I think they were the only team. They were either the only team in the Eastern Conference or the only team in the league to beat Milwaukee twice in the regular season, and it's because they're just a bad matchup for Milwaukee. The Milwaukee Bucks allow the most three-pointers per game in the league, and Miami makes the most three-pointers per game in the league. They're a tough matchup because they have guys who can match up with Giannis, like Bam Adebayo, and then they can run small. They can run a lineup where you have Bam, Butler, like this is their finishing lineup. Jimmy Butler, Bam Adebayo, Tyler Hero, Andre Iguodala, and Goran Dragic. That's a small lineup, so that takes out Brook Lopez, really. Because Brook Lopez isn't a mobile guy, and he cannot guard any of those guys on the perimeter because Giannis is going to be on Bam, or Giannis is going to be on Butler, one of those two. And Brook Lopez is not a good matchup one-on-one for those guys, so it is a tough matchup for Milwaukee. And they're just really good they're just a really good defensive team already, a really slow-paced team already, and a very, very good fast break defensive team. They are one of the best fast break defensive teams in the entire NBA, and Milwaukee's the best fast break team in the NBA. So it's just a brutal matchup for Milwaukee. I'm really going to be interested if they can come out of it. I mean, everyone was talking up the Boston-Toronto series, but this was the one I was really more interested in just because I think the matchup's just terrible for Milwaukee and see if they can beat Miami. I think if they beat Miami, they don't have a problem beating Boston or Toronto, which it looks like it's going to be Boston, but I don't know if they're going to be able to beat Miami. It's just such a brutal matchup, but we can exploit that in DFS. Like I already said, Bam Adebayo. Bam Adebayo is a high assist rate player. I'm pretty sure I talked about this in the last video. He's a 23.6 assist rate player. That's third most on the team, and he's out there. I mean, he actually didn't have a high assist game last game, which was funny because I said that in the video that he would, but he didn't. But he's out there getting assists to the three-point shooters. He's the one, they get the ball to him in the middle, the defense collapses, and then he gets it out to a three-point shooter. That's how Bam Adebayo works out here. So he's just in a great spot for me, and he's going to be on the floor because he's guarding Giannis this game. Like the whole series, he's guarding Giannis. So they need him out on the floor. He's just someone that I think he's going to play Ivan for 38 minutes today. He's 7,900. He's too cheap. He's a 1.18 point per minute guy, high usage, high assist rate guy in a spot where I think that's going to be very useful for him. So, yeah, Bam Adebayo looks like a great play. Jimmy Butler, $8,300. I mean, he just went off last game, and honestly, I don't see why that's going to stop. The funniest quote I heard was when they said Jimmy Butler, how they allowed all the family members to come to the bubble, and Jimmy Butler said, "Nah, this is a business trip for me." Maybe they're going to win the whole thing. Wouldn't that be something? They won't. But Jimmy Butler, $8,300. I don't mind paying for him. Again, he's just been so good. He's been such high usage. He's been a 25.1 usage percentage player, highest on the team. Goran Dragic really is the highest usage player, but not when he's out there on the floor with the starters. But Butler's been the highest usage player in the bubble for them. He's just been looking great. I mean, it's just he scored 40 last game, 40 real points. He had like a 50 plus DraftKings points. So I mean, he just looks really, really good right now. I don't see any reason to get away from him. I mean, it's always, I didn't mention it earlier, but it's a pace up spot for Miami that bodes well for Butler. So I do like getting there. Jay Crowder, $4,600. This is someone that is just a good cheap value guy. 0.91 point per minute guy. I have him for 35 minutes today. He's been playing a lot in the playoffs, so I think he's a great spot again today. So yeah, I definitely want to get to some Jay Crowder. Goran Dragic has been playing out of his mind. I want to continue to target him at $6,900. You got just an absolute great pace-up spot for someone like Dragic who likes to play fast, likes to get his shots up. So Dragic looks really good. Tyler Hero, $5,300. He's a shooter. I want to get to Tyler Hero because of that. And we know the amount of threes that I already talked about that Milwaukee's allowing in the league. So if Hero can get hot, he's going to be huge just because he's just going to shoot huge volume at them. Same thing with Duncan Robinson down here. Same thing. I like him as well, $4,700. I think Hero plays more minutes just because he's closing, so I'd rather get to him, but Robinson's still good. They're both great shooters. Iguodala didn't play a ton of minutes last game. He's 3,700. People are going to target him today. I don't. I want to stay away. He's just so unproductive in fantasy, man. I mean, he just does not do anything. A 0.78 point per minute guy. I think he had like 10 points in 17 or 18 minutes last game. Like, it's just bad. So I don't really want to get to Andre Iguodala at all. And then Kendrick Nunn's finally starting to get minutes, and he's 3,600, and I think his minutes are going to slowly creep up, and I would rather play him than Iguodala. I think Kendrick Nunn's an interesting play just because he's $3,600. And, I mean, yeah, I have him for 16 minutes right now, but I wouldn't be surprised to see him get like 24, 25. I think they're going to slowly start creeping up. They want him in this rotation. They're just trying to get him back because he was out for a little bit of corona, then he had to leave for personal reasons, so, I mean, he's just been out. So, yeah, I mean, I think Kendrick Nunn is an interesting play today. He's probably going to get ownership because he's 3,600, honestly, but I think that's a good option to go to. He's a high-usage guy. When he's on the floor, he's a 0.88 point per minute player, so I think Kendrick Nunn is fine. Next, we'll go to the Milwaukee Bucks, where Giannis is 11,400. I already talked about how difficult of a matchup this is for Giannis. If there's definitely ways to get off of both Giannis and Harden today and make a good lineup, but that's scary. I would prefer Giannis because he's a 1.9 point per minute producer. He's such a high usage guy. He's going to be out there a ton. He had a bad game last game against Miami. I think he'll bounce back today just because it's Giannis. That's really it. He's great. I want to target him again today. I don't have Eric Bledsoe for any minutes right now, so this is something we have to talk about. Eric Bledsoe surprised me, didn't play last game. It's questionable. I thought for sure, starting point guard is going to play. So this hamstring thing must be kind of serious. So right now, I don't think he's going to play much. I'll probably be wrong today. He probably will play. But if Eric Bledsoe plays, then George Hill and that's pretty much it, aren't as great of plays that I'm about to talk about. But if he does play, or if he doesn't play, yeah, George Hill's someone I really want to get to. And I guess we'll just talk about George Hill right now. I mean, he played 36 minutes last game, so I have him in for that again. Awful. He was so bad. Like, he had like 15 points, but that's fine. I'm going to go right back to him because he's $4,300 and he's going to play in the 30s. Like, that's the reason. I think he's got a lower usage with these guys, but he can just hit some shots. Like, he was just shooting terribly. He'll get you some points. And 0.99 point per minute player, $4,300, going to play 30 plus minutes. Someone I want to get to. Pat Connaughton's another guy who's been playing a ton of minutes. He closed the game for Milwaukee last game. $3,700, going to play 26 minutes. I have him for today. So, yeah, I think Pat Connaughton's another good value option. Especially if, like I don't think Connaughton's going to get a ton of ownership. Like, I think Iggy will, and I think Kendrick Nunn will. So, if Connaughton's not getting a ton of ownership, I think there's a play to go to. Brook Lopez, I just don't like this matchup for him. I really don't. He had a good game the other day, but it's just because he was hitting his threes. Like, if he's not hitting his threes, he's not going to do anything. He is still 5,500. He's going to play a lot of minutes, but he's not going to get to 30. I'm telling you, this matchup's bad for him. There's going to be a game in the series where he only plays like 20 minutes because he should not be in the closing lineup for Milwaukee if they're trying to win, in my opinion. So I don't like getting to Brook Lopez that much. I mean, yeah, if he's hitting his threes again, he's going to be good. Like, that's what made him good last game, but I don't know. I don't think he's really the way to go. Wesley Matthews, see, like, everyone plays Iguodala, but no one plays Wesley Matthews, and they're basically the same player. Just saying, they're both so unproductive. If you're not going to play Wesley Matthews, then why are you playing Andre Iguodala? It's just because of the name. Chris Middleton, $8,100, 37 minutes. Middleton went off last game. Yeah, that's the other thing. If Bledsoe's out, Middleton gets a really big usage bump. Well, not huge, but he gets a nice usage bump with Bledsoe off the floor, and he's just a great play. I mean, he was 7,900 last game, didn't get a ton of ownership, and he just went off. Middleton's found this shot. He's back. So I think he's another guy that I really want to target here today on the slate, $8,100, especially if you're going for like the more balanced build instead of going for like a Giannis or Harden. I think Middleton's definitely got a target in there. I think Middleton, Butler, and Bam are your three. So, yeah, I think Chris Middleton is still a solid option. And then finally we go to OKC Thunder, where we're going to see if they can pull off the upset in Game 7 against Houston. We got Steven Adams, $5,700. He's in a good matchup against Houston, against the bigs. No one can stop him on the boards. He's a solid option. That's what I want to get to. Darius Bazley is another guy that I think is, I mean, we saw him get more minutes because Dort got into foul trouble, but Bazley is still $3,900. He's been very productive in the bubble. Looks like a solid player to eventually. He's getting more minutes in the rotation. I think he could produce us a solid game today. Not like someone I want to be a core play, but like those value guys, like again, like Iguodala, Chalk, like get off of him. Get to some of these other guys like Bazley, who has upside. Kendrick Nunn has upside. Connaughton doesn't have as much upside, but he's got upside. He do the same thing amount as Andre Iguodala. Honestly, Wesley Matthews, what if he goes 4 for 4 from the 3-point line and gets like 5 rebounds? That's not out of the realm possibility for Wesley Matthews. So yeah, these are some of the guys I want to get to. Then Lou Dort, the cover guy today. I had to make it Lou Dort. Yeah, I know. It's Lou Dort. It's just, I don't know. He's not that good in fantasy, but good real life player. He had 3,000 in the first quarter last game, which kind of killed him in fantasy. But he still ended up having a 20-point day in 20 minutes. So he was averaging 1 point per minute last game, and that's not bad. And I mean, if he's gonna get his 30 minutes again, he's not that bad of a player. Everyone likes to make fun of Lou Dort, but he's really not that bad. And at $4,000, I don't think he's gonna get a ton of ownership because of that last game. So he may be someone to go to again today. I mean, yeah, I put him on as a joke, but as a cover as a joke, but he's still a solid option today. So I think Lou Dort looks good today. Danilo Gallinari is still going to be chalky at $6,100. He's just he finally found his shooting stroke last game, but he's not playing the minutes for me to want to get to someone at $6,100. There's other guys in that price range that are going to play way more minutes than Danilo Gallinari today that I'd rather just get to. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander continues to be someone I want to target. He didn't have a great game last game, but this is a spot for him and Schroeder. I'll talk about them together. Pace-up spot benefits those two players so much. They're both really fast-paced players. They like to push the ball to the court. They like to drive to the basket where there's not a lot of shot blockers on Houston. They're both solid shooters. They're going to play in the upper 30s of minutes. They're going to beat those two, and Chris Paul will be the three highest minutes on this game as long as it's not a blowout. So I think Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and Schroeder both look like amazing options. And then Chris Paul, $8,200. He's leading this team. He's leading them past Houston right now. It's insane to me, but we'll see if he can finish it off. Honestly, I sort of think he is because Harden and Westbrook just historically just are not good in the playoffs. So I sort of feel like OKC is going to get it done tonight. He's just Chris Paul. He's 8,200. I think he's a safe play. I just don't think he hits an amazing ceiling. That's the thing. I think him, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, and Dennis Schroeder honestly have the same amount of ceilings. And I'd rather just pay down for those guys than to get to Chris Paul. But he's still a fine play. He's not going to do bad. He's going to have a solid game. And, he's going to be safe. Houston's a good matchup. So, he's I always feel like Chris Paul's a better cash play than he is a tournament play. Because I just don't think he has a low floor but the ceiling just isn't really super, super high. So, I think that's really all I got to say in this video. I hope you guys got a lot of good information. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you guys make some money this weekend. Make sure to follow me on social media and subscribe to the Patreon and subscribe to the channel. Thank you guys so much for watching. Have a great weekend.